Hey guys, this is Michael with the Jungle Gym Reviews. Today we're doing the second video in a short series on the Speediance Gym Monster 2. At the end of January, I'll be releasing my full in-depth review video for this machine, but as promised in my first impressions video, because a machine like this is such a large investment and kind of nuanced and intricate, I wanted to share a couple short videos with some real-world feedback and opinions from close friends and family as well. Because again, my guess is that with a machine like this in your home, it needs to accommodate different users, training preferences, etc., so everyone may have a different opinion on the good, the bad, and the necessities when it comes to purchasing a couple $1,000 all-in-one home gym machine. In today's video, I sat down with my friend Eric, aka The Inside Gear, to give me his candid feedback to a handful of my curated questions after his first workout and hands-on with the Gym Monster 2. Eric is a full-time engineer, human dad of 1, dog dad of 2, and currently has his own multi-piece, fully equipped basement gym. He would be what I consider a prime candidate for someone interested in this piece of equipment, since his training goals revolve around strength training, but also contain an emphasis on short rest times to maximize overall workout efficiency per time. Before I get into the video, if you could quickly hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, it will help us continue to grow the channel and make sure you get notified when we post our weekly review videos throughout the end of this year and all of 2025. We'll go into some specifics here in a second, but overall first impressions, like, this is your first time using it, you just showed up here, you know, what did you think about it?
Yeah, I think the quality of the actual like cable aspect of it definitely leaves some to be desired, but the integration with like the tech side I think is great. So overall, like I think it's nice, maybe not worth the price tag unless you're specifically looking for the tech integration side.
How did it feel? Smooth? Was it intuitive? Did you have to do too much thinking with your fingers and the cables and the attachments?
I think the overall experience is relatively intuitive. The actual feel of the cables themselves are, like, I definitely, like I said before, leave some to be desired. They're maybe average, I would say, in comparison to many other like cable machines that I've used. I also at home have an FT2, so like I'm really used to something that's incredibly smooth, but going from that to this is like night and day difference. And I think that this is not even close to what the FT2 is. The resistance curve, I would say specifically, like even, so I really like the eccentric mode, like that's really cool, it's neat, but in terms of the actual feel, it just to me felt like it could be improved upon. Like it's a great foundation, but it's not as smooth like the actual resistance.
Any specific feature or features that stood out to you?
Eccentric, yeah, 100% the eccentric feature, because you don't get that out of a normal cable machine. And so that is like the one thing personally would sell this machine to me, is that eccentric feature. The integration on this and being able to see like right on the screen exactly like what you're lifting, both on the concentric and the eccentric portion, is really nice. I do also really like the fact that you can go in single pound increments versus like a normal cable machine, usually 5 or 10 pound increments. And then if you have like the adder weights, you know, maybe 2.5 pound increments, but being able to go like pound by pound is also really nice.
How did you feel about the overall technology, the screen, or the engagement, disengagement of the weights?
It's clever. I really like the integration aspect of that. This is really the first piece of like smart workout equipment that I've used. And I actually really like that aspect of it. I wish that the cable side was maybe more kind of up to that level, and then I would probably rave about this. And then the ring I thought was also a pretty clever idea, but it is a little bit weird, like especially when you're pressing heavier, like getting to the end of a set or whatever. It's just like weird to have that on your finger. I'm not used to having something like that. But in terms of being able to set up for your workout and then use that to like turn on the resistance is pretty slick.
How do you feel about the overall design, aesthetics, how it looks, the TV, the bench, the attachments?
I like it, don't love it. It kind of depends on what you're looking for out of it, right? Like having the narrow footprint, being able to kind of fold it up and everything is really nice. From a cable perspective, it is quite narrow. The flies are actually not that bad because you get a little bit more of a pinch towards the back because they're pulling closer together. But overall, like the integration with the monitor, the speakers and everything, I think is quite nice. There's not really, like, I don't have an issue with that. It looks good. And in like a setup where you have here in your office, I think is aesthetically pleasing. So even if you were storing it there full time while you're using the room for other purposes or whatever, I think would be fine. It doesn't have to be like in a dedicated gym space. Whereas there's definitely other pieces of equipment, like for instance, in my own gym where like I wouldn't want that in like a shared use space, you know?
Tell me about the rowing.
I really didn't like the rowing because of how the tension feels when you are releasing, basically going back, like resetting from a rep. And so much so that like I'm used to kind of using my feet to pull myself back into the rower to get like set up. And so it's kind of always under constant tension. And in this case, I actually set off the like safety because I was moving the cable too fast. I didn't love the way that felt. As soon as you hit the back of a rep, like once you let go, I'm beating the cables back. It didn't love that, and I didn't love that either. In terms of using it maybe as a little bit lower intensity, just kind of pulling in that regard, kind of mentioned before, it's nice to have that as an added feature. But yeah, it's definitely not something you're like really going to drive your heart rate up, at least not for me, because of that. Like you can only get so fast. Yeah, I think it would be a nice feature if you didn't have a rower, which like I don't have a rower. So something like that would be nice. You know, you can only use it so much. Yeah, definitely those kind of the slower reps, which is fine, especially if you ramp the resistance up and you know, you're pulling, kind of getting more of the muscular workout rather than the cardio side of that. So good, not great.
Would you personally consider purchasing this?
I don't think I would at this price point. So I would consider this machine or a like machine at a deep discount, or I would love to see improvement, a new iteration of this machine that might fix some of the issues that I had with it. And then I would consider potentially spending, you know, a little bit more. But as it is today, after my experience and with kind of knowing the rough price point of it, I would not consider purchasing this machine.
Yeah. Now, would you recommend this to someone who has limited space, looking for a one-stop shop solution to their home workout needs, and interested in potentially having free lifetime membership and included classes compared to something else like, you know, Tomo?
So if they're looking for that tech integration side of things, and that's like specifically maybe the feature that they're looking for, then yeah, I think that would be great. There are maybe some better options that maybe would take a little bit more space potentially. If it's a shared use space, I think this is a strong contender in terms of aesthetic. Like I said, having it in a space like this, like just in your office, I think works really well. Putting a squat rack in here might be a little weird, you know? Yeah, even putting like a weight stack cable machine in here would be a little bit awkward. I think honestly, like if someone didn't know any better and they came in here, their first guess would not even be that this was like a piece of exercise equipment. Nothing about it screams like exercise workout. So maybe the bench, but.
And then you don't have to have it mounted on a wall.
Yeah, you can move it.
So guys, that's it for this short feedback, impressions, and first interview video on the Speediance Gym Monster 2. Again, please stay tuned for my full in-depth review coming at the end of January. As always, if you have any questions, please comment down below. I'll be happy to answer or at least try. Thank you for tuning into the Jungle Gym Reviews. We'll see you next time. Take it easy. Peace.